All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to welcome you all to this webinar, which is being co-hosted by Semi. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our guest speaker today, Andrew Petrosky. Andrew Petrosky, who's going to be speaking to us about Mapstead, a company which is leading in the world, in location technology. You know, the one thing I want to say about Mapstead before Andrew takes the floor is that their technology is one of those technologies which is migrating into the mining industry, but is already in other verticals. And it is in verticals that include manufacturing, construction, and also in property development, property management. I'd say development there, property management. And we're really excited to see these technologies that transition over into mining from other sectors. And without any further ado, I'm going to hand over the floor to Andrew. Andrew, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Charles, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you, Charles. And I want to thank SEMI, the Center for Excellence in Mining Innovation as well, for hosting this wonderful event. And thank you to all the registrants who are joining us today. So very briefly, this presentation, I hope to cover 3 areas. I'll talk a little bit about Mapstead and our company, and followed by a brief description of our location technology, and finally, like to discuss some use cases for the mining sector. As Charles just aptly put it, location technology is exploding globally, and virtually every business sector is finding a business use case or use cases for these technology services. If there are 3 takeaways you get from this meeting, first off, is although Mapstead is a new entrant to the mining sector, we, as Charles just mentioned, cross over into other business sectors like manufacture, property development, construction, where you share some very similar use cases, and we hope to reveal those to you today. Then also, obviously, I hope you have a better understanding of what location technology is. And in its simplest form, location technology is about navigation and positioning. And positioning is, I guess, you can think of your in-car navigation system or the blue dot on your mobile phone. This is effectively what location technology is. And I'll talk about how Mapstead uses it for the business sectors we're involved in, as well as the mining sector as well. And finally, I want to talk about our differentiator, our value proposition, which is our hardware-free location technology solution. And by hardware-free, meaning that our solution does not require any additional hardware in the form of beacons, GPS, cellular, Wi-Fi, those types of things that otherwise a company would have to make a major investment in terms of upfront capital and maintenance. So we call ourselves as leading the world in location technology because we are a hardware-free solution and the only company in the world to provide that. So my name is Andrew, and I'm in the business development area, and along with my colleague, we are responsible for developing our channel partners, and one of these is SEMI, and we're very grateful for the opportunity to present across the country to the mining sector. Our company was founded in 2014, so we're a mature technology company. We're known as in the business of SaaS, software as a service. And we provide a highly scalable and very accurate hardware-free location-based solution. Our company is located in Mississauga, Ontario. We have about 50 employees. The majority of those, probably 80%, are involved on the technology side, software engineers, software developers, and on the R&D. Our company has a global footprint. We're doing business in all 6 continents, and we cover a broad range of business sectors, including, but not limited to, manufacturing, transportation, property development, government, higher education, and retail. And we provided, or I provided some names below of some of the examples of the types of clients we work with. Many will be familiar to you, some less so. But for example, Lowe's, which is the 2nd largest hardware store in North America. Why that would be applicable for this conversation? Well, the user in Lowe's in this case is the consumer, the shopper, but the user is more important in terms of what they're getting from our location technology. And effectively, we're providing a positioning and navigation service within the Lowe's facility, which would provide an opportunity for users to search for a specific product before they enter the store. And then we provide them a navigation route or positioning service right to within 1 meter of the product that they're looking for. How we could segue this over to mining, for example, if you had an inventory warehouse with parts or any kind of facility where you're looking for machinery or any assets of a fixed nature, our service can provide from mobile-based or web-based a positioning and navigation technology that brings you right to the service you're looking for. Other areas or companies we're doing business with, the university, so that highlights a campus application. Now, a campus and mining site are two totally different things, but they are basically outdoor and indoor environments. So where you're navigating in an outdoor world and in an indoor world or seamlessly between the two. Tesco is a United Kingdom department store. Dubai Mall is interesting. It's the second largest mall in the world, and it covers over 1 million square meters of outdoor and indoor space. And we're providing technology to guide shoppers and staff throughout this entire facility. And again, we're doing this in that blue dot format. Cushman Wakefield in the bottom and Primaris on the bottom right might be more recognizable to you. These are large property development companies in Canada, and we happen to be working on the retail sector with them. Emaar is the largest property developer in the Middle East. They own Dubai Mall, and I'll talk briefly in 2 slides about that blue badge to the bottom right. So Mabstead believes very heavily in research and development, and we have acquired in just 6.5 years over 65 patents that protect our proprietary technology. Our services have been deployed over 255 million square feet worldwide, and the majority of that is indoor square footage. Just quickly, 2 testimonials from customers of ours. Dubai World Trade Center, we show that for you because that is the world's largest, or Middle East's largest, consumer trade show with over 100,000 attendees and 12 to 1,500 vendors. This is a 4-hall situation that takes place over a very short period of time. And we're demonstrating a use case to you where the buildings, first of all, are mostly steel and very hard to get cellular service, but we overcome that with our hardware-free technology. So people who are attending or the vendors who are providing their information to guests have complete, uninterrupted navigation and location services. Indian Railways demonstrates the scalability of our solution. Indian Railways is the government-run railway system in India that covers over 60,000 kilometers of railway track, more than 7,300 train stations that handle over 8 billion commuters a year. Now, when I talk about scalability, we're providing mapping services for all those 7,000 plus train stations and a communication platform, because communication and technology go hand in hand. So you can communicate with the users of your location technology. By scalability, without the need for any additional hardware, Indian Railways could provide a very great experience to commuters for train information, for station information, without any upfront hardware investment. This slide highlights the basically crux of our technology, which is the only patent technology not requiring additional external hardware. I named them before: Bluetooth beacons, Wi-Fi routers, GPS. And how do we do that? Well, Mabstead's market-ready patent technology relies on a concept known as data fusion and self-learning algorithms. And the end result is delivering an accuracy of 1 to 3 meters. Unlike something like GPS, where you could lose signal and you get maybe 10 to 15 meter accuracy, we never lose signal and we give an uninterrupted navigation and positioning service. Very quickly, how we provide that is our client would give us a site map and or floor plans of indoor facilities. We take that site map and convert it through our image processing system into what we call a digital signature. Then we use the smartphone to calibrate that signature. So we walk the indoor facilities and we walk the outdoor areas, calibrating the respective areas to the original floor plans that we receive. And what we're doing in the calibration exercise is the smartphone, and any off-the-shelf smartphone has this. It's loaded with various sensors, and those sensors include Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, but they also include gyroscopes, a magnetometer, accelerometers. And at each point in the calibration, as we're walking a site, and you can walk a site 1 million square feet in less than a couple of hours, we're picking up various electrical disturbances in the form of data points that the phone is reading. At the end of the calibration exercise, that information is submitted back to us, and we translate that into a working location positioning map for our clients. So that app now is available on a Android or iOS mobile phone, and we also have a web-based application as well. I can go into that in more detail in the Q&A section, but effectively that's the process. We start with the floor of site plans, convert that into a digital signature, which we load onto a phone. The client or Mapstead can walk the site or the facilities, picking up that information and converting it now into a usable map that from thence on, after the app is downloaded, provides the user with a fully functional, hardware-free navigation and location service. Let's move right into the mining use cases. So the challenges we've identified in the mining sector include navigating across a large multi-building work site can be confusing and decrease productivity and efficiency. Also, we recognize that worker safety is very important, and in a complex, busy mining operation can be difficult, especially during emergencies. And finally, of course, maintaining high operational performance and keeping production costs low can be a challenge and a struggle on large work sites. So what are our solutions? So the Mapstead technology provides a seamless outdoor-indoor navigation experience. And in fact, so not only do we provide XY geolocation, but also altitude. So we can go across floors or we can go up and down. In a maintenance facility on a mining site, for example, where you're dealing with large machinery that can be several meters or tens of meters high, we still can locate that employee or that staff person. And by doing so, we can give information back to the company how long each of those work modules or those work tasks take. So that seamless indoor-outdoor navigation allows workers to find their way around the site, and that obviously enhances productivity and efficiency. Then our solutions, by being mobile-based or web-based, can provide personalized alerts and notifications, increasing on-site safety. Those alerts and notifications aren't much different than what you may receive even on your mobile cell phone, in the form of, I get text alerts from my carrier in terms of my upcoming invoice or bill, but I also get generalized alerts. Same thing can apply with Mapstead's location technology platform. We can send personalized alerts and notifications on a universal basis to the entire organization, or they can be targeted based on departments or even based on location. So if some people happen to be in a certain area and you need to close down that area for maintenance, that can be broadcast to that group. And that's done by location-based information. The company can set up a virtual perimeter denoting which area they want to communicate with the respective employees, and then send that information out accordingly. And the byproduct of that is obviously increasing on-site safety. Our tagging and alert feature helps you allocate resources and keep on top of maintenance issues, streamlining operations and decreasing production costs. So tagging would be asset tagging or equipment tagging, and that helps keep track of where equipment is and how it's being used and even where it's being moved to. So that can be done on a 24/7 basis, and then you never lose track of where equipment is and where it's being used and how it's being deployed. And that's very helpful information. We have a similar use case for that in an auto manufacturing plant. Our location-based services, as I said earlier, do not rely on any additional hardware. So I think they're very effective in working in traditional dead zones and especially remote areas, which is probably very common on many mining operation sites, as well as buildings where workers don't pick up generally cellular reception. Our asset tracking platform allows you to allocate resources more efficiently, quickly directing workers and sending equipment to where they're most needed at any given time. And then our location and behavior-based target alerts. By behavior, what we're talking about is measuring journey or navigation patterns. And by using or amalgamating those patterns, and just to speak to the data security issue. So data all resides on the mobile phone or on the web-based service. So data resides on the phone. We aggregate the data on an anonymized basis, but we're entirely privacy standard compliant. That information at the aggregate level then can be shared only with the client, or in fact, we can provide an on-premise solution to the client where they retain all the data on the navigation information. But this behavior-based targeted alerts and notification system now ensures on-site workers stay up to date on maintenance and safety issues across the site. So they're receiving real-time information and instructions, which is particularly helpful in case of an emergency. Also, our advanced property management platform, or our maintenance platform, allows for precise real-time tagging of areas that might need to be closed for repairs, allowing workers to quickly and easily adjust their daily work plans in response. And that workplace management platform can apply equally well in an office building or administration environment, so that if our customers are requiring to service areas or looking for what areas are receiving the most traffic, they can respond to those areas accordingly. And just finally, our three core products are location positioning, which includes the maps and the content management system. The content management system for our clients is very important. This allows you to update any changes to building locations, to equipment locations, and you're doing this through the back-end system, and this updates automatically through the entire app. The location marketing I spoke to earlier provides a constant communication opportunity with your user audience, and as well through geo-proximity locations, you can determine who and how you want to speak to people. Finally, the analytics is the data side, and the data side provides information to the customer in terms of traffic flow analysis. And this is useful information to tell you how people are navigating on the site, where they are, and in fact, are they in the best navigation routes to get to the work areas as quickly as possible. So positioning, marketing, and analytics are all core products to Mapstead's hardware-free location technology solution. And I think, Charles, that more or less covers what I want to speak to. And again, thank you for your attention, and thank you to Semi for giving us this opportunity to address your audience.
Oh, thank you very much, Andrew, for the presentation. We're now going to move into the question and answer period. And I'd like to ask you to please submit your questions in the chat area, and I will read those questions to Andrew and have him answer it. I guess the first question, Andrew, we have here is, can your technology be used for location in underground infrastructure, things like sewer inspection?
Okay, thank you for that question. That's a great question. Yes. So I spoke to the XYZ coordinates of navigation, which includes height, and height works both ways. So we can cover up to 50, 60 plus floors going high, but we can also go into basement and subsurface. Now, subsurface does not get into a deep mining situation, although we could provide a custom solution for that. But we can provide underground, which is several floors below surface level, full navigation services without the extra hardware that's normally required.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that answer. Next question here, it's a question about the type of maybe phone that the technology can use. Does your smartphone that you use any self-charged batteries? And does this technology use pressure or vibration sensors?
That's a great question. So if the question is, can you use a self-charged battery? The answer would be yes. As far as the sensors are concerned, from pressure, I think we talk about accelerometers, we talk about altitude. If we're talking barometric pressure, that sensor is available in the phone. It's going to use every data point available within the phone. We really harness a very powerful technology that's sitting in the palm of your hand.
Excellent. Thank you for that. The next question I have here, it's concerning data security. And the question is, where do you store the data?
Okay, thank you for that. So the data is stored on each individual user's device, so on the smartphone. So that is what's providing the services. Then that information is aggregated on an anonymized level. So we are not picking up the data on a per user level. It's coming back to us in an aggregate manner as an anonymized, and we're fully compliant with, for example, the European GDPR privacy standards. And as I said, importantly, Charles, we do not share this data with anyone besides the client. And if the client wants to host this data, which is called an on-premise solution, we'll give the client full access to the data, and they would be responsible for it.
Gotcha. And next question I have here is about deployment time. How long does it take to deploy the solution?
Okay, well, of course, deployment is somewhat dependent on the size of the site and also on the number of facilities. If we were providing, again, a solution with, let's say, 1 million square feet of indoor buildings surrounded by X hectares, the outdoor area is very quick because we can take advantage of available maps for the outdoor area. The indoor area, 1 million square feet, we could certainly deploy from site plan to finished map and technology solution within several business days, anyways, less than 5 to 10 business days.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that answer. The next question I have here is concerning a demo. Like, are you able to offer demonstrations on site?
Yes, okay, great question. So just for the respect of the brevity of time today, I would have chose not to use a demo. We'd be happy with any inquiry to go over a demo with a customer if they want to look at it. We have demos, and as well, we can pilot the technology on site, which would be called a proof of concept. So we have demos we could provide online so they could see how the technology actually works. But more importantly, if a customer had a specific use case application, we'd be happy to do a proof of concept with them as well.
Gotcha. I've got a couple of questions here that I'm going to summarize maybe into one. And the question is about underground um, real-time location. And the question is this technology affected by underground infrastructure, such as, large trucks underground?
So we can, depending what we're calling large trucks, we can provide a solution for several, like I said, we right now provide solutions for several floors below ground level. If we're talking about a deep mining situation, then we would have to incorporate a custom solution where we're providing tracking for that equipment and or for the mobile device that is attached to that equipment. But that is certainly within the realm of our location technology capabilities.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, can you comment on whether the technology can use Wi-Fi?
Yes, well, thank you for that. So Wi-Fi is one of the data inputs for our location positioning service. If Wi-Fi is available, the smartphone will use that as one of the sources of data. If it's not available, it will look for other, as I called it, magnetic electrical disturbances to provide a location point. So Wi-Fi would be needed initially to download the application onto the mobile device. After that, Wi-Fi is not necessary to drive the technology.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. I'm just waiting to see if there's other questions. So please, to the participants, please feel free to type your questions in the chat area. Yeah, Andrew, while we're waiting for some questions, I did have a question that I wanted to ask. But before I go to that one, there is a second part of a question here that I did not ask. Is this solution for mines that are currently in production, can be used for proximity detection and collision avoidance?
Well, I guess the best way to answer that, because we can deliver that 1 to 3 meter accuracy and it's real time, there would be an opportunity, because we get a lot of mobility applications, to marry those two together. So with the accuracy and the real time, it would be obviously something we would look at, but can't see why our technology would not be able to support that. And I don't know, we're talking at the driver level or at some type of operation supervision level, but we do provide real-time service down to the 1 to 3 meters. I mean, within the 1 meter, I would suggest we wouldn't be responsible, but 1 to 3 meters is a very accurate solution.
Okay.
And what would happen, Charles, is the other person would get a targeted alert. You're too close. So there is instant communication actually between the two devices. We have the opportunity to share from person to groups.
Okay.
And there's no reason why that couldn't be done from, I guess, equipment to equipment.
Okay. Okay. Got you there. There's another question here from Ray. I think he just wants some clarification. He says he's missing out on how you can provide real-time tracking from an underground application in a deep mine without any other hardware or other than smartphone.
No, thank you for that. So I'm sorry if I did not answer that more clearly. So in the deep underground situation, we would have to incorporate some other form of hardware. But because we are so data sensor sensitive, I would suggest to you it would be still an efficient solution. So we would need additional hardware at the deep underground level.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. We do have a room for one more question if anybody has one. I'll just wait to see if anybody has a question there.
I see that. How does it work in areas that don't have accurate site plans? No, that's a great question. So we would work obviously with the existing site plan. And in fact, our information would enhance that because we have the self-learning algorithms. Plus we have a concept called SLAM, which provides an opportunity to work in the absence of any site plan whatsoever or building plan. So this is a case by case. We would love to sit down with any customers and go over the specifics of SLAM technology and also how our self-learning algorithms would support working where the site plans might be deficient.
Excellent. Oh. Eddie, are you there? I think we lost your audio for a second there. Oh. All right. You know what? Seeing that we've come to the top of the half hour here, I would like to just thank Mapstead and Andrew Petrosky for their presentation on this technology. Again, you know what? We're seeing a migration of key technologies from other sectors into the mining sector, just to demonstrate that the mining industry is ripe for innovation. Any parting words, Andrew?
Well, yes, I thank you for the opportunity, and we would be very happy again to demonstrate our technology on a one-on-one basis to any of your registrants or participants, and also talk about their specific use cases and look at piloting as well, so they could see it live on site what we do. But like I said, I think that location technology is a great benefit to this sector, and it provides a tremendous source of information and efficiencies and productivity for mining.
Thank you again, Andrew. For those of you who did not catch the questions and answers, they'll be sent to you together with the presentation package and a recording of this webinar so that you can have some continuity of discussion. Andrew will be available via email as well, and I'll include that in the post-presentation email. Thank you very much, everybody. You take care. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Andia. You're welcome, Scott. Thank you. Bye-bye.